and really just started packing my shit because you don't want me here. You just told me that I got 8 days to leave. And like awesome, I remember I remember saying to her, you do know you just told them not to give me none of my services, right? She was like, you'll be fine. You didn't need them anyway. And I'm sitting there like, why would I not need anybody considering the fact that I don't have a parent, any parents? Like I don't have a support system. So why would I at 20, 19, getting ready to be 20, not need anybody
Hey,
out here?
beautiful. It's your girl, Rebecca Sahara.
And it's your girl, Amy.
And we are back with another episode of Polly Bell. Um, okay, so I guess to get started, okay, prior to pressing record, we went through a lot of things, okay? But anyway, I wanted to start off on a high note since we're gonna be talking about some heavy shit today. So we're talking about gratitude before pressing record. So I just wanted to talk about, some things that we are grateful for. I had something really good that slipped my mind. That low key slipped my mind because remember you were like, hold on to it.
Well, then I'll stop. I'm grateful uh, for having gone through the things that I've gone through. And like, I'm a crybaby, y'all. I'm a crybaby. I just want to start saying that. And now when I cry, because I be crying still, right? But like now when I cry, I be like cry. I be crying because I'm like so happy. I be like crying because I'm like so blessed and I have everything I want and like everything I need and like I feel loved and I be feeling it be making me want to cry. It be making me want to cry to just be content, able to sit in a room of people and experience people around me who love me, who care about me, um, and just different walks of life, different places, different areas. You know, everybody has their own thing they shine for, and still they find it in their heart to love me, like love on me. You know, I'm grateful.
Oh, that was so beautiful. And then, first of all, those gratitudes, first of all, I wish people talked about gratitude cries more often. And I know I wouldn't have gotten fully understood until I was in this this place that I am now, where I can experience it for myself and be like, oh shit, like that. The gratitude cries hit different, okay? They're not talked about enough. But I do remember what I was gonna say before, and now I feel like following you is gonna sound like trash.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Just say it.
I am grateful for not being a sheep.
Me too. I'm actually very grateful for not being sheep. I
I
am grateful to be a wolf, to be a
I am grateful
or I'm an elephant.
to
I'm an
I
elephant.
I am grateful to be able to use my mind for myself and not be swayed because of whomever is around me and their opinions. I'm grateful for the ability to stand on what I believe in and stand on that shit regardless of who's trying to stand with me. Like, there's just, I'm just so grateful for that because so many people's minds get swayed because of the people around them. Like, all right, so real quick story. Recently, I did a 9-day fast. This is the longest fast that I've done. It was a 6-day, like, fruit/raw fast and a 3-day water fast. Now, prior to this fast, I already had plans set, which I didn't realize would fall along the same time that I was doing the fast. So I went to this graduation party and I just knew the food was gonna bust. I just knew the food was gonna bust. Like I just knew. I just knew. I just knew. And then I realized I was doing a fast. And then initially I said to myself, I mean, by the time the graduation party comes, it'll be day 6 of the fast. Like, you can cheat and then start the fast up again. And then as I'm in the fast, I'm like, you can't. And I literally said to myself, if you know that your dedication to yourself is a manifestation of your self-love and your worthiness, why would you backtrack? And so I went, I bought a salad. I brought my fruit to the graduation party. I brought my water with me to the graduation party. And I thought that I would feel more tempted while I was there. And I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I was like, oh, this is like, this is light. Like, it really wasn't even like that. Like, even, I haven't been smoking marijuana. And I'll say that because if I just said smoking, I know some of y'all smoke them cigarettes, and that's not my lifestyle. That's not my ministry. But anyway, so I haven't been smoking weed. It's not my intention. I don't know. It's not my intention to smoke weed regularly at this point. But like I've said, I won't smoke marijuana until July. What month we in? Whatever month we're in.
Dang.
I got 3 months. 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I be feeling really good not smoking the marijuana. I be starting smoking again, be motherfucking losing the memory. You feel me? Like it's just
2 months.
it's not working out. I'm just saying in terms of when I made that decision to the end of that, whatever. So while I was there, like a friend of mine was like, so and they were just teasing. They were like, so you really not gonna smoke? You not smoking? Like not one pull? Like you really not smoking? And I just
It's the
felt,
peer pressure for me. It'd be the
look,
peer pressure for me. Like, no, I'm not smoking. I said no.
look, I'm not gonna hold you. Like whenever I'm in spaces like that, whatever the thing is, like that wasn't a big deal. I'm like, nah, bro. Like I stand on it. Like you see, I brought a salad to a graduation party, baby. I'm committed. One thing about me is when I make my mind, it's set, and I'm grateful for that because I know that it's very difficult for a lot of people. All in all that to say, I'm grateful for the ability to make my mind and stand on it, to not be a follower, to be a leader, to be able to lead myself. You know what I'm saying?
And to be able to make good decisions while you do it.
And to be able to make the best decisions for myself while I'm doing it. What are you grateful for? Drop a comment below.
Yes, drop a comment below. And nothing, here's the thing, because Becky said that she was like, after your gratefulness, there's no such thing as that. And everyone is entitled to be grateful for what they're grateful for. Nobody knows your walk of life. Nobody knows what you woke up and you thought this morning. Nobody knows what you went through. Nobody really knows what your experience is. So you are entitled to be grateful for whatever big or small it is. If you're happy because you went outside and you seen a blade of grass, understand that there's somebody who right now cannot see. And they would be so, so happy to be able to see the sky. So, whatever you're choosing to be grateful for, be grateful. And don't let nobody make you feel ashamed for you being grateful. Don't ever let if I don't tell nobody nothing, yo, don't never let nobody else alter how you feel about something great about yourself. You don't never let not their soul, your mama, your daddy, your grandmama, your pastor, Satan, your dog, your sister, your man, your side nigga. Call him what you want to call him. Your boss.
Your bald headed granny. She 99. She thinks she found she going out wearing freaking style. She wishy look like this.
Don't let nobody alter your train of thought, your blessings, the way that you feel about yourself. You feel great about yourself, then you just sit up in that. And could nobody not near here, hell, high water make you feel like it wasn't worth what you thought it was worth because you thought it was worth it. And that's it. And that's it.
So y'all, this episode is not about gratitude.
Not at all.
So this is a segment called I've Been Kicked Out of Better Places. Say it with me. I've been kicked out.
I've been kicked out of better places.
I'm like, part of me wants to share the reason why this is called this.
But by the end
But
of
I
the
won't.
segment, they'll realize.
But I won't. We can tie it up with why the segment's called I've been kicked out of better places. However, um, obviously, if you've been staying up to date with our podcast and our stories and just what we share in general, I mean, at some point we'll go back, maybe tie up all the loose ends or whatever. But you know that we are obviously sisters. We've been living on our own for several years. Um, and essentially, what ignited both of us living on our own was being kicked out. It's actually, childish. We were both kicked out a few years apart from each other. Now, Esther was kicked out before me because obviously we didn't live together. And so this is really a story time segment. Um, and with that being said, I'm gonna let Esther take it away and just go over um what happened um for you to get kicked out.
All
Just
right.
I'm here for the story time.
Story time. Ding 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 ding. Those is my spirit fingers, y'all. So, why did I get kicked out? Okay. So of course, I don't know if I've touched upon this, but we know I've been in foster care, right, family? I was in foster care for a while. So there, what happens is when you get ready to age out, I think I was 19, I was 19 turning on 20. Usually age out around 21. When you get ready to age out and stuff, and they start to tell you, oh well, there are benefits, there are things that we can do for you, when you're ready to move out, blah blah blah, whatever your next transition is. Cool. At this time, I was currently in college and I was working at the time. And of course, I already had my son, and I was living with my foster mom, who felt like an aunt to me, right? And I have been looking for an apartment. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny because we had actually been looking for an apartment together. So I had my friend who also had a child, and so we were going to get an apartment together and move in together. My foster mom had told me that we're gonna call her.
Robin.
We're gonna call her Robin. So Robin said, like when she seen that I was really trying to find me a place, or something, she was like, "Oh, well, you know what I'll do because I'm so proud of you for trying to do this, and you know what I mean, be who you are. So what I'll do is I'll put down the deposit. Mind you, I live in New York, so a deposit plus first month's rent. I think it came up to like $2,000, something like that. So she was like, I know it's hard especially when you're trying to get out here and do something for yourself or whatever. So I'll put down 2,000 for your first month's rent and whatever. So because she was saying that, she told my caseworker and everybody who had like another plan or any other alternative plan for me. She told them essentially, I don't need it. She don't need it. She got it. She can stay here. I got her. Even if whatever, she's family, I got her. So nobody starts doing anything else, right? Everybody's like, okay, cool. They got her. Cool. Now, 8 days before my birthday, I came in. It was a regular time because it was like about to be dinner time. And like, I came in and she's like, oh, well, what are you going to do for your birthday? Right. And I remember saying something like, I don't know. I don't really feel like doing anything for my birthday. Like I don't really have any plans. And at the time I was like in the outs with a couple of my friends. So I didn't really want to do that. Right. So she goes, "Oh, well," she goes, "Oh, well, that's good and fine, but are you moving out?" So I was like, "When?" I was like, "When?" She was like, "Yeah, for your birthday. I know you said that you looking for your apartment and stuff, and you'll be fine. You can go ahead and move out." So I was like, "Wait, what?" So she was like, "Yeah, you've been looking for an apartment this whole time anyway, so you might as well just go ahead and just get out there. As long as there are homeless shelters out there, you'll never be homeless." This is, mind you, prior to me securing an apartment, securing anything. All I have done at that point was look. I really, let's be honest here, I looked at two places. That's it. I looked at two places. That's it. So she was like, as long as there are homeless shelters outside, you'll never be homeless. So I was sitting there and I was like, are you kicking me out? Because I am a I am a direct person and I need, especially when I'm starting to get confused and stuff. Some people will beat around the bush and be like in a state of confusion. No. Put it on the table for me, bro. Tell me what it is. Are you kicking me out? So she was like, I'm not kicking you out. I'm just letting you fly. Involuntarily? Are you throwing me out the nest? Like, are you for real? So she was like, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So I was like, well, where's me and Drew supposed to stay? Because I still have my son. So I'm like, where's me and Drew? She was like, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry. As long as there are homeless shelters out there, you'll be fine. She kept telling me that. So I remember that conversation and me being like, huh, okay, cool. I wanted to act a fool, but I felt like so embarrassed. I felt so embarrassed, if we're being honest, because we were out at the kitchen table and it was like a family dinner that we were having. And then all of a sudden you ambushed me with this. And then like, I don't know. So I felt so embarrassed. So I was like, okay, cool. I remember it too. It was spaghetti with like Texas toast bread or something like that, garlic bread. And I just left it all at the table. You done worked my nerves now. You don't work my nerves now. I'm not hungry. I can't eat this anymore. So I just got up, left the table or whatever, and went down to my room and really just started packing my shit because you don't want me here. You just told me that I got 8 days to leave. And like awesome, I remember I remember saying to her, you do know you just told them not to give me none of my services, right? She was like, you'll be fine. You didn't need them anyway. And I'm sitting there like, why would I not need anybody considering the fact that I don't have a parent, any parents? Like I don't have a support system. So why would I at 20, 19, getting ready to be 20, not need anybody out here in these streets? Okay. So I go to my caseworker at the time and I'm like, yo, she's putting me out. I'm packing my stuff. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do, but I just need y'all to know she's putting me out. My case was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. We don't have enough time. I'm like going to the agencies. We had like a couple of agencies that were like in the foster care thing. So we're like going back and forth. I'm like going back and forth with them. They're like trying to talk to her and like convince her that they're like, you know what, well, if that's such a problem, then can she stay down? Can she stay with you for at least another month or two and we'll pay her rent? Like we'll pay you her rent until we can be able to, get her somewhere else and get something else. She was like, nope, she don't need no assistance from y'all. She don't need no assistance. And I remember feeling like I feel like she contributed to like I already had like abandonment issues with my mom dying early. So you contributed to me feeling like unworthy. I don't even know, but I remember feeling unworthy of even having a roof over my head. Like, and I to this day, if there was something to learn from that, I have not learned it. Like to this day, I always knew I was gonna survive. I always knew I was gonna be fine. I always knew I was gonna, figure it out. I've always been a soldier in that way. So if that was what you were trying to teach me, I learned that already. Like, I already learned that lesson. I learned that lesson 10 times over already. So what were you teaching me exactly? Because to this day, I cannot tell you that I can understand why a 19-year-old is outside in the streets with no support. Absolutely no support. No adult to even run a question by. Like nothing. So cool. So that night, I packed up my stuff or whatever, and I went to go stay at my friend Liz's house that night or whatever. I took my son and was like, all right, cool, we're gonna go stay at Liz's house. Because fuck I need to sleep here for. I remember thinking that. So I won't sleep another night in this. I won't sleep another night in your house. You ain't gotta never work. What you don't need to worry about is this. So
Before you continue, so Esther called me, and she's gonna touch on this. If you were 19, what am I? 16, maybe 17, depending on time of the year. I was motherfucking panicking. I said, oh hell no, that bitch got me fucked up. She got you fucked up. Like, I was bugging the fuck out, especially because Robin wasn't just another foster mom. Like,
she was my aunt. Like I saw her as family. Like
Robin experienced death with us. Like, Robin experienced not just death, the death of our mother with us. And so you saw the toll that it took on us emotionally. And to know that, like, okay. So I always say that when my mom, I always say my mom, when mommy passed away, I feel like mommy passed away with the knowing that she knew where all her children were, and she knew that we were all in secure places. And for that to have been the case, and then fast forward, like, mommy's not here for us to go run into for assistance. There's literally no one to go to.
so
And you
I just
know
want to
that.
say in context, because a lot of people are like, well, why did you get kicked out? I just want to say I wasn't doing drugs. At the time, I was smoking a little bit of marijuana. She also knew I was smoking marijuana and let me smoke marijuana in the backyard. So it's not like I was smoking marijuana in the house, stealing or anything like that. I had a job, so I was buying my own marijuana. So that part. Also, I was party promoting at the time, so I was making a nice amount of money. I was making a nice amount of money coming in from that, and then I was also going to school. So I was being a 19-year-old, and I had my son. My son had stuff going on, so we were definitely in and out with that. But I was doing what I had to do. I was on the up and up. I was doing what I had to do, and I was taking care of my kid. So whenever the day came that she said that to me, we hadn't gotten into an argument. I hadn't did anything wrong. I didn't break anything. I didn't disrespect her. I didn't come out of my face. When I came into the house, she was smiling. We were all smiling, sitting at the dinner table, eating dinner like a family, like a happy family, discussing my birthday like a family. And then she said, "Oh yeah, because you're moving out." So it wasn't. I remember like asking, like, "What did I do wrong?" I remember feeling like I messed up. Like I messed up. I remember like really having my feelings hurt, thinking to myself like, "You're so aware." This was my dialogue in my mind. You're so aware of like all this stuff around you, and you can't even see that you're a fuck up. Like you're aware of other people, other things, other social norms, not norms, all this stuff. You can see someone else is uncomfortable, but you are sitting in your own space and you're a horrible person and you don't even know that you're a horrible person. So I remember that day being like, because no matter even how bad I think about myself, there's always this thing that be like, uh, I don't know. There's always like this thing that be like, I don't know. So I took myself to my friend's house that night. And I think I ended up spending like 2 days over there, whatever. Like, and while I'm over there, she lived in Freeport. If you know New York, then she lived in Freeport. I currently lived in Hempstead at the time, and I had a friend. It was so funny because he wasn't even really a friend. Rest in peace. Um, it's a guy that liked me, Samad, and Samad had been trying to talk to me like maybe like 3 months already or whatever, and we were going on like a date or something like that, but it was weird and I don't know, but he was always cool, so I never like told him like no or nothing or whatever. We just didn't do anything. So I remember, just going through it while I was at my friend's house, Liz's house. I was telling Liz, Liz was like, you can stay with me all the time. Liz was like, you can stay with me. But Liz got kids and stuff at that time. She had a man. There was a lot of stuff going on with her. So I was talking to somebody and he was like, yo, I know a place that's renting. He was like, it's not great, but I know a place that you can go to. And if you got $300, you can move in there like tomorrow. And show as hell before I even went to go see it. I was like, call him up. Call him up. I went to the store. Went to the store, got me a money order and with my $300 on it and went down there to go see my new place because regardless, I was gonna be staying here. If it was a cemetery full of graves, I was gonna be staying right here. I was gonna be staying here. So I move out. So it's like 3 days in now, right? And 3 days in, I see it. I'm like, okay, cool. I spent the first night there, right? I didn't have anything with me or nothing like that. So my first night there. Then the next day I go, I pick up all my stuff from Robin's house and I move in there, whatever, right? Robin's like, oh, you don't have to leave so soon. We could have had a birthday dinner. It's just this weird ass thing that she's doing with me that is like, no, you just told me you don't want me. Like, and that's exactly how I'm taking that. That's exactly how I'm taking that. Like, I looked at you as a mom on some real stuff. You watched me go through what I went through with my mom. You lost your mom early as well. And our bond was so cool. Like, our bond was so cool. So people would tell us that we looked alike, even though we don't look alike.
You know
But
they
because
say they say you feed a child long enough, they start to look like you.
like when I tell you, so now you're now like here's the thing with me. I ain't never pined for nobody's attention in my life. I will sit here and starve for attention and know that that is all I need to be able to breathe air, and I will let myself die. I will never pine for your attention, his attention, her. Y'all can all kiss my ass. You can kiss my whole ass. If I grew 3 asses, you can kiss all three of them. You can kiss my ass. We'll never grovel. We'll never grovel. I will die. You hear me now. Lord, hear me now. It's not me. It's not gonna be me. It's not gonna be me. No. So she's like, oh, we could do all of this, blah, 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 blah. And I was just essentially like, why? So I could sit at this table and essentially go off on your ass? Because right now, for being honest, I'm trying not to be disrespectful. I'm trying not to be disrespectful because my stuff is still here and I don't really know how to feel. And more than anything else, I legit feel hurt. And I can't even explain that to you because at this point, I no longer feel safe around you. So if I say it, you're going to hear like the tears in my voice. That's going to make me even more disappointed in myself for not being able to just be strong in what I say and how I feel, without the cry, fuck that shit. So I don't have nothing to say to you. So that second night, when I moved all my stuff in, now mind you, it was $300. It was this ghetto place. It was this horribly, horribly roach infested, mice infested, mosquito infested. We had deer in the backyard.
When
Oh my.
when Esther told me about when Esther told me about all of this, outside of my panicking, I went so for the sake of us changing people's names in this story, I went to
Nancy.
I went to Nancy and Rose. And I was like, listen, like Nancy was a clinical licensed social worker. Rose was my foster mom at the time. I think I was adopted.
I
Yeah.
think you were adopted.
Oh, maybe just had just got adopted or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I'm telling them, huh? I'm telling them what's going on. Like, this is what's happening to my sister. Like, y'all know, like, how can we help her? Nancy and Rose,
Went hard. I'm not even gonna act ungrateful right now because they went hard. Nancy got me some money from like a church or something. Nancy and Rose went hard. And they talk cash shit about Robin. They talk good shit about Robin. Good shit, like that good tea that make you just be like, ooh, you can't even sip yet. You can't even sip. You just listening to it. Had me feeling like, cool. Since I had to smell it, might as well.
at least someone is trying to hold me down.
Yeah, and no, at least someone just doesn't think I'm worthless.
Hmm.
Like, is not affirming what she's saying essentially by telling me that that by there being homeless shelters outside, I won't be homeless. You have to be homeless to go to a homeless shelter. Like, that's actually a requirement. Let's just be honest here. I'm gonna actually tell you, I've been blessed and highly favored to never end up in a shelter. I was so close to being in the shelter, and because I was homeless, they actually before the 8 days were over or whatever, I went there. I went to DSS to see, and they told me I have 8 more days, or excuse me, I think I had 6 days or something or at that time or whatever. So show back up when I'm actually homeless. That's what they told me. I was like, I remember walking around and thinking to myself, like looking around at like benches and like corner spots and stuff, like, oh, okay, that actually might be a spot I could like go to sleep that night. Like I remember actually really considering some shit because like I couldn't like I know I had my friend Liz, but like there was a lot going on for her and essentially I can't be nobody else's burden. Somebody already done already made me feel like shit for being a burden. For real. And I can't be nobody else's burden. I really don't care. I can't be nobody else's burden. So when Nancy and Rose were essentially like talking to me, they were just validating that I wasn't wrong, that I didn't do anything wrong, and that what was happening to me was fucked up. Like it was fucked up. It wasn't because I was being fucked up. It was because of some choices that I made. It was because the person who was doing it to me was doing something fucked up. So I remember making me feel like just more level because I was going through this period of feeling like complete shit about myself. Like, just complete. I was still grieving my mom, and then like now I'm feeling extra lonely. Now I'm feeling extra lonely, and then I have my son here who is like needing a place to stay. So at the time, I ended up going to that place. That second night when I actually moved my stuff in is when like the landlord was like this old guy and he was like kind of senile or something or whatever. So he had a daughter who lived with him. Everybody's old, everybody's grown. The daughter was had to be like 50, almost 60 years old. The landlord was like 70 or whatever. And he had a daughter and she was on drugs. And he was like telling me whenever I came to him or whatever, he was like, yeah, well, whenever you give the rent or whatever, don't give it to my daughter, give it to me. Make sure you give the rent to me. So whenever I had moved all my stuff in, I had actually just gave the money order to my landlord, and then she came downstairs because I was living in the basement of their house, and actually there were already people in there. It just so happened I lucked out and I knew them. They were my friends. I just didn't know like even they didn't want to tell nobody that's where they were living at. It just so happened, and they were my friends who were like really good friends, so it worked out because like I wasn't alone. So she came downstairs and was like telling me, "Oh, you can't move in without giving me the rent or whatever." And I was like, "Well, I already gave the rent to the landlord upstairs, whatever. I had my receipt." or whatever, showing like I already gave the rent, and he signed it. He actually signed the side of the receipt so that we could show that again. So she's like, "Oh no, that's not what you do." Like it was becoming this thing. You don't give the rent to him. He's senile. You give the rent to me. All this extra stuff, or whatever. She's on drugs, and I can tell she's on drugs. So I'm like, okay, I understand. Either way, there's nothing I can do now. I've already given him the rent, so I understand for future references. I'll give it to you, even though my mind no. But I don't want to. I don't want to do this with you right now because I'm going through it right now, lady. And if you really don't know, you will find out today because the level of stress that is upon me, I am ready to hack away at one of you people. Like I am so unstable and doing everything I can to maintain just this level of hardness that makes me look untouched. And it was taking all of my energy.
Girl, that's I'm just like re-stressed.
Yeah, it was taking all my energy to be hard again, to like go from a place where you felt like so loved and like warm and comforted, and then like, so you like packed away your shield or whatever, right? Like, I had packed all my shit away. Like, I had packed all the shields away, the armor, the guns, the knives, the machetes, everything was away. I had put everything away. That makes me cry. I'm back, y'all. I'm back. So I just want to say that at the time, and I don't even know if today she even really, really knows exactly how she impacted me, but she like tore my world apart for a while, for years. Let's be 100% honest. She tore my world apart for years. And obviously, my world isn't torn apart because I'm so content, but obviously, it's a sore spot for me still because, like, I don't trust easily. I do not extend myself to anyone easily. That is not a thing for me. And I felt like, especially at the time, I gave her my full self. I gave her my full self, seeing my good, my bad, my indifferent, the things that I was really, really ashamed of, the things that I was really, really proud of, that I was always scared to show. I showed my full self. I unpacked. I unpacked just to find out that I should not have unpacked here. This was not the place to unpack. Pick your shit back up, put it back in the bag, and let's go. So the night that I moved in, after that situation happened with the landlord lady, like I went out to go to the store or something like that, right? And really, is that what I did? Yeah, I think I went to the store because when I come back, there's like all these people in front of the back door. Like where I'm at is in the basement, which is in the back of the house. It's like, and there's two doors in the back of the house, whatever. One to like, I don't know what that was. I thought it was like a storage room or something like that, but I'm not sure. I never actually seen it, but that's where their grandson or something like the great grandson or something, one of the kids they had or whatever was staying there. And supposedly before I got there, I guess that they had wanted the room that I was in to be like to be able to do whatever they do. Whatever they do, they had wanted that room. Here I come. I got the room. Nobody told them about me getting the room. So now they called them and all their little goonies and stuff, and they are all in front of the basement door talking about beating me up. And like, I'm gonna be honest with you here, especially at that time, I was down. Let's do it. Let's do it. But I was going through it and I'm not dumb. I'll never walk into a situation. It was at least 10 of them outside. And I remember my friend going, it was him and his wife and their two kids, right? And he was like, no, I'm not letting you go outside. He was like, I'm not letting you go outside. I'm not letting that happen to you. I don't know what they got going on, but I heard them. I already saw it. That's why when whenever I was coming back from the store, he had actually met me up the block in his car. He had actually met me up the block in his car. Was like, get in so we can go to the house or whatever. And I don't want you to get in danger. Right. So I called my friend I'll never forget him, Black. I'ma say his name because that nigga looked out for your girl. I call my friend. I'm scared. I'm not even gonna lie. Now I'm scared. Like, oh shit. I done came over here. Now I'm about to get beat up. I don't got no other place to go. I done gave them my last $300 till I get paid again. Like, I'm screwed right now. I'm screwed. I didn't even have food. I think, yeah, I didn't even have food because what happened was I was getting food stamps at the time. I took my food stamps. I had like $400 or $500 worth of food stamps, and I took that and I sold all of it for $300 to be able to pay this rent. So I didn't have nothing. I didn't have no food. I didn't have nothing. Nothing. I just had my bus, my unlimited Metro card to go to work. And I had bought that before I knew I was getting kicked out. Because if I had known that, I wouldn't have bought that. So, so now I'm like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do? I call my friend Black. Black come through with all the Goonies, the whole little hood, his whole little community of people all rolled through for me. So I'm like, all right, cool. Well, Black, can you spend the night with me? Like, can you spend the night with me? I'll even let you take the bed and I'll sleep on this roach infested floor. I don't know. We can sleep in your car. I don't know. Just do not leave me here. Do not leave me here by myself. So now that night when all that was happening, right? Before I called Black, I called Robin. I was really afraid. I was so petrified. I was so scared. I was so stressed out. I called Robin, no lie, y'all. To this day, I will never, ever, ever forget it. I called her 72 times. 7 2. Not an exaggeration. Not a, and I must have left at least 15 voicemails. I know for a fact that I was texting wildly. I was like group texting recklessly. I was so scared. Like, oh my God, somebody, I think I'm in big danger. This guy was like, go get my gun. I was like, bro, I don't care what my fist can do. I can't fight no gun, and Black can't stay here for that long. He got a whole family and baby mother and stuff, and who I'm pretty sure is not okay with me using her man right now as my shield. The fuck? So okay. So that night when she never answered, I'm not gonna lie, I remember that being like one of my toughest nights like ever because you really don't care about me. You really don't. I'm in danger. I am legit in danger. Who calls somebody 72 times? So now, mind you, remember, we're on day 4 of the 8 days till my birthday. Right? So day 5, day 6, and day 7, I'm hiding. I'm still going to work every day. I'm still, but I'm hiding. I'm creeping. I'm creeping. I'm literally coming in as late as I can and leaving as early as I can. Like, I'm not getting no sleep in. I was a home health aide at the time. I was getting no sleep. I was tired. I was sleeping at my clients' houses. Like, I was just over it. So my 20th birthday comes around and Robin texts me, happy birthday, kiddo. I hope it's a great year for you. When I seen her text, I said, don't answer. Don't answer. You haven't called her since 3 nights ago when you were in actual, real fucking danger. We don't even know if you're not in danger still. If you don't respond to her texts, she'll call just to make sure your phone rings. Excuse me, to make sure your phone rings and you're alive. No. So essentially, I ended up not even staying at that fucking place. I think like 3 days after my birthday, I actually broke up with it. Like not broke up. I gave up. I gave up. I gave up. Let's just be honest here. I gave up and I decided that sleeping on my friend's floor was better than staying there where I was afraid of all the time. There was big mice, big rats, big rats. Just jumping over this hole in the bathroom. There was roaches everywhere. There was roaches everywhere. There was mosquitoes everywhere. I was just afraid of everything. I didn't want to touch nothing. There was roaches in the freezer. Uh, so yeah, I decided that at that time that possibly getting pissed on by her son was better than staying there. So I called my friend. I think I put all my shit in storage or something and was like, please me. Help me, please. And yeah, I slept on her floor. I slept on her floor for a week, or I think 2 weeks. I think it was a solid 2 weeks before I actually found another place that was way better. It was still a shit show, but at this point, it was a better shit show than the shit show I had been faced with prior. It was more stable. It's more of a stable shit show.
Oh shit.
So, okay, right? So then, y'all, now I'm living my best life, right? I'm not living my best life. I'm not living my best life.
I'm
I'm
living
surviving. I'm surviving. I'm
I'm
surviving.
living life.
I'm living somebody's life. I don't know who's like I'm living somebody's life. Rent is expensive. I do not know how to do
Life
anything.
is expensive and you are not emotionally, physically, or financially prepared for any of this shit.
And I have no one to ask any questions to because the one person who I thought I could ask questions to told me she didn't really want nothing to do with me when she put me out, essentially. Because that's what I heard. That's how I heard that. Especially when I called you 72 times in danger and you didn't answer. You saw it. You saw it. Because to be able to text me happy birthday kiddo means you saw me saying, I'm so scared. I need help. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm about to get hurt. So I decided, I'm just not gonna answer. I'm just gonna live my life and I'm gonna figure it out and it's just gonna be what it is, right? So then 2 years later, I'm still surviving. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still, it's falling into place. It's starting to fall into place a little bit. I'm starting to figure out what my path is, where I should be going, what I need to start doing. I'm starting to figure it out. Now I'm not just trying to figure out where I'm supposed to sleep tonight, right? So so 2 years later, she like sends me a text message like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? I wonder if you know a place to get weed." So me still pining. This is what hurts my feelings. This is really what hurts my feelings because and this is what really altered how I operate in my life because I'll never do this again. I will never do this again for anyone. You will never make me feel like shit again in my entire fucking life. You can kiss my ass on a bloody day. I said what the fuck I said. So I responded, uh, I think I do. I think I do. What are you looking for? Or something like that. Are you trying to come over to me or something? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Really, at this time, y'all, I'm thinking like, I don't know, but I'm thinking there's a relationship about to get started back up or something, and like. So she comes. She comes too. She really comes. and she really comes with this weed that I don't have, by the way. I don't have it because I don't sell drugs. But I wanted to see like I don't know. So we're actually in the car because I don't have it. So we're in the car now, I guess looking for it, right? And I'm like asking her, like, okay, so I was scared to like to say it, like, why are you hitting me up now? Whatever, like, you know what I mean? After you, whatever. So she's like talking like everything is cool, everything is fine. She didn't kick me out the last time we spoke, and then didn't answer my 72 calls when I was in danger, and hasn't even asked me if I was okay in the last 2 years or anything. And okay, I'm just out here in the streets, and I don't have no parent. And you told my mama to her face while she was laying on her dying bed, because that's what you did, that you got me and that we were going to be okay. And then you went and invited my brother to come into your motherfucking house because you even got us even more. And he was already in a place, he was fine where he was at. And you decided because you told my mama that you got us, that she was going to displace everybody. And then you lied because you're a fucking liar. So I asked essentially, why did you do that? She was like, well, I was like, well, why did you kick me out? Because I wasn't really trying to, I don't know, I was scared. So she was like, oh, well, I always knew that as long as as long as they were, what the hell she said? As long as you were always gonna be okay. I knew you were never gonna be homeless. DSS says they won't help you, but they will. I just want you to understand that DSS never helped me. I just want to understand that. I just want everybody to understand that. For all the bitches in the back who thought, oh, she just gotta wait long enough for DPS to go ahead and be like, oh, okay, now we found your apartment. Well, no, no. To be able to get assistance, that is a transition. That is something that occurs about a year before you even transition. They do not do anything speedy, rushy, fast, nothing. No, I did not fall into any of the eligibilities anymore at that point in time because it was 8 days away from my birthday. Anything that I could have had, I lost it. I got nothing. I didn't get insurance. I got food stamps because I went as a homeless person and got food stamps. And not because I was a child in foster care who had rights. Who had rights. And who could have had somebody pay my rent for me until I figured it out. I was in school, I was working, I wasn't out here. At the time, all I was doing was smoking weed and partying, and not drug partying. I didn't do crack. I've never done crack. I've never done coke. I've never popped pills. I've never done none of it, none of it. All I did at the time was I was in college. I had my son. We had a lot of doctor's appointments. I handled all of that because I was always afraid of not handling my son's stuff because then I'm afraid of CPS and all that stuff or whatever. So I was on top of that, and I had a job. So even when they offered to pay her rent, they were like, "We can't find nothing for her, but we can pay her rent here, and she could just be like a tenant. You don't have to feed her. You don't have to do nothing. She could just be a tenant." She told them no, that I would be better off outside. So when I asked her, she was like, "Well, I know that you were always strong. You were always going to be okay. And remember, I told you were never going to be homeless. DSS was always going to help you out or whatever." No, but you never helped me out. They never helped me out. They never helped me out. They told me to go to fucking homeless shelter. They told me to go to a homeless shelter too. And do you know why I couldn't go to a homeless shelter? Because I watched my friends go to homeless shelters. I watched a few friends go into fucked up situations like mine and go to homeless shelters and not leave for 3, 4, 5 years. Because when you go to a homeless shelter, especially the ones in New York that want to help you when you have kids and stuff like that, they take your check. So you go there, they take your check, and then they call themselves holding it for you until you are able to do whatever. But all these shelters that I know three that closed down and nobody got their money back. All those checks that they were putting towards the homeless shelter to freaking have them hold for them to go get their apartment or get their stuff together. When the shelter closed down, nobody got their money back. I also know homeless shelters where my friends have been assaulted. I know of homeless shelters where my friends' children have been assaulted, sexually and physically. I'd rather sleep on a park bench, outside in the open. At least that way I can see you coming a mile away. So when I asked her, she gave me that response. I didn't even say anything. I was quiet for the rest of the ride until I think we ended up at Kennedy Park or something like that. And then I was like, "Oh, I'm fine" or whatever. I didn't even let her take me home. I walked from Kennedy Park back to my house, which is like maybe a 45-minute walk, right? And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, "Wow, she really doesn't care. Like she really doesn't care." Fast forward now. I'm living my best life. I'm actually living my best life now. I'm actually really living my best life now, right? And my son is older and he's still getting into stuff and there's stuff going on or whatever. He got into a situation where they sent out some letters or whatever about him because he had some stuff going on. She contacts me because she had got a letter, right? And she's like talking to me about my kid, like she gave a care about us and like talking to us like her putting us out didn't directly affect how I was going to be raising my kid. Like I didn't directly affect how his parent was going to be able to mentally take care of him. Let's not even talk about financially. Not even talk about financially yet. We're just talking about mentally, the mental capacity to take care of someone while you're out here trying to figure out how to be not homeless.
And how to take
So
care of yourself for the first time by yourself. And
with no advice, with no advice, like no advice, like no advice. There was nobody I could ask, like no, for real. Honestly, I've literally learned everything that I've learned because of my trial and error. Like, and I know that everybody got trials and tribulations and stuff like that, but like, I had someone who specifically spoke with me and spoke with my mother and told my mom that regardless of anything, I had them. I had, regardless of anything. So, okay, let's just say that the scenario was that you still had to put me out or whatever, right? Not talking to me, not communicating with me, not speaking to me for years. How does that work? We were family, right? Weren't we? Weren't we family? Who does that? Years later, she calls. She didn't even call me because she everybody got my number. I'm in Texas now. So she's like, "Oh yeah, I got a letter, whatever. I just wanted to see um what's going on." I'm like, "Yeah, everything is fine." She's like, "Oh, okay. Well, do you need any assistance from who? Don't you know Satan could offer me the apple first, and I'll take a bite out that apple faster than I would ever take your hand ever in anything ever again?" Satan, the hell wrong with you? The hell wrong with you? I would grab a cobra by the neck and kiss it before I let you ever think in your fucking mind you could ever assist in shit. I would hold my constipated doodoo till I couldn't hold it no more and it ruptured and I died. You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. One thing's for sure, two things for certain is my mother never raised me to beg. Not a motherfucking soul. I never had to beg shit. I never had to beg for shit. I won't be begging today. I won't be begging tomorrow. I'll die. You hear me? Y'all, if y'all never heard me say nothing else, if y'all never heard me say nothing else and you like, oh yeah, no, she a little wishy-washy. Hell no. Hell no. You play me, you play your mother moving forward. You play your mother, your God, your lover, your play your asshole. Play with your asshole. The fuck? The fuck? I remember when she was talking to me and me being like the whole time. Like, what do you want? You couldn't what do you want? What do you want? And I'm blessed because at the end of the day, regardless of whatever I got going on, I was blessed with this disposition that will not allow me to be depressed. I was like blessed with a disposition that will not allow me to stop trying to make it happen. Like I will beat a wall with my head if I know that on the other side of that wall is gold. Like if I know it, if I know it's gold over there, till it happens. So all that did was really teach me that people want shit. I'm gonna be honest here. It didn't teach me how to survive on my own. It didn't teach me how to. I was already doing that in my mind. I already felt like I was already doing that. I already felt like I was already out here trying to make it happen anyway.
The crazy thing is,
So,
the
yeah.
crazy thing is, we already knew that people weren't shit. Like we already knew that people were fickle. We already knew that people coming in, and not that this was something that like should have been normalized, right? Because none of this shit was fucking normal. But we already knew that people could come out of our lives just like a revolving door because we were used to that. Like that was just the foundation. We were used to that shit. And so to be in a space where someone is confirming that you are safe, that you are good, that I got you, and for you to see such goodness,
Yeah.
such goodness in someone, and then it's literally like night and day, and then all of a sudden you abandon me with no major action on my part.
So before this all happened, my brother had told me, "Watch out for her. I know you. I know you. You worship the ground she walk on." If I did, because I did. Oh, I did. So he was like, "I know." It was my brother and my foster sister at the time. They were both like, "Hey," because they had both been through their situations and things went crazy for them. And I remember in my mind thinking to myself, "Man, I was yo, that was no, that was y'all." Me and her, we like this. We two peas in a pod. No, no. She loves me. She loves me, okay? And then she did that. I remember not even being able to tell my brother. I remember not even being able to tell my brother that she did that because I could not hear my brother say, "Well, I told you so. I told you she was going to be like that. Like I told you that." So, if there was any lesson to learn from it, first off is that everybody deserves 30 days eviction. If besides just deserve, it's actually a law. But so yeah, if I learned anything from that, I also learned that it don't take me nothing but a day to move. My whole life. My whole life, okay? Also, I'm not sure what I'm gonna be honest here because the only other thing that I learned is not to trust anybody. I'm gonna be honest here. The only other thing that I learned was that, and this could be coming from a trigger place, right? But what I learned was that people are liars. People are liars, and even when it looks like in your face, it's like this person says, "I have $100," and so you look at it and you're like, "Oh, that's $100," right? And you're looking, you're like, it look a little thick. It look a little thick for $100, but I'm pretty sure that's $100. That's $100, right? And then, but you can only see it like this, right? And then you lean up to go like this. I would show you this, but I don't want you to see whatever label this is on this thing. Oh. And then you lean up and go like this and find out it's a blank ass piece of paper. There's no $100 here. The damn thing ain't even green. It was reflecting green because of damn light outside and the grass and the things. So I've learned that people are liars and do not take nobody for face value. The benefit of the doubt is bullshit. The benefit of the doubt is bullshit. Take them for what you see. If you see it, take it in. Even if there's no movement to be made right now, take it in, note it, and learn how to move appropriately moving forward. But do not ever, 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 ever let someone tell you they got your back without some example of the back having. And not just like the example of like, oh, I showed you the path. Fuck that shit. You need to go through the trenches with me, ho. Don't show me no path. Walk through the quicksand with me. Let's float through this Guadalajara water. I don't know. Like, yeah. So now at 29, getting ready to be 30 years old, I I definitely don't trust anywhere on the level that I would have ever trusted. And uh I mean, I know that it's so funny because it's like the lesson she wanted me to learn was that I was gonna be fine. But like I knew I was gonna be fine the whole time. It just caused me it's so funny. I had a realization. I was talking to my sisters the other day, maybe a couple of weeks ago, and telling them I never planned for after 29. I never even thought about it. I never even thought about it. I've been working from running and moving and living from a place of survival for so long. I never even thought about what could ever happen to me. I I don't know if I thought I was gonna die, but I didn't know I was gonna be here. I didn't think I was gonna still be here, like at all, at all, because I was working from such a place of just trying to remain okay, trying to be okay, like not having food on the table, not having money to pay rent, just not having, living in a place where like I'm upset all the time. There's a bunch of people that live here. They're smoking cigarettes. I've quit cigarettes, and now in the morning they're smoking cigarettes in the house. My stomach is hurting every morning. I would wake up with a stomach ache and a headache. And I was so busy just trying to figure out how to breathe in fresh air that I couldn't even think about anything else. So the best thing that I ever did for myself, you guys, because that's probably like this is like the close to the end of my little story. But the best thing that I ever did, you guys, was I didn't give up. I'm gonna tell you that there were a few times and a few moments where I could have, very easily too. I wouldn't have felt bad about it or nothing. I wouldn't, and this is me having a child and everything. I could have very easily just been like, okay, okay, here you go, you got it, you won, you won. There were a couple of times. There were a couple of times where like I was presented with a situation to do something not great, but selfish, and um, that would supposedly take my mind off stuff. Like I don't know, And I found out that without drugs, without people, well, I'm not gonna lie, I had my sisters. I really had Becky. I really had I really had Rebecca. If we're being honest. She really and I had Liz. Oh, and I had Liz. Oh, I love Liz. Oh, I love Liz. Because two people, really it was Rebecca and Liz, who I know other people might have been affirming it and stuff, but I got to know them like that. I didn't know Rose that great. And I right prior to that, me and Rose had that like a back and forth kind of relationship. Um, I didn't really know Nancy at all. I think I met Nancy once or twice or whatever prior to the situation. So I didn't have a level of trust. for them. And during that time, I remember being able to call my sister and being able to lean on my friend Liz. Like, even if I wasn't staying at Liz's house that night, I knew I could go there to eat. I remember I also, and I'm so sorry I forgot her, because I didn't forget her. I just didn't mention her yet. But my friend Miranda, or Shay, I think she calls herself Shay. She prefers Shay. But yeah, Shay helped me because um I ended up staying with Shay before my apartment got together. I stayed with her for about a week before my apartment got together, and then I went to go stay with a guy friend for the weekend. So like I literally went from like house to house to house to house, giving away everything that I had, everything that I had. So if my food stamps came in, here you go. If when I stayed with my guy friend, I think I stayed with him. It was like just a couple days too. It was like the weekend because I stayed with him because he lived up the block, like 2 blocks away from the place that I was actually moving into to become stable. And I remember him being like, "Yeah, no, you're good, you're good," and me being like, "No, it's okay," because at the time I had no money. I had no money. He was staying in a basement, and he wasn't supposed to let me be staying with him. So I knew he was like really risking it just for me, you know. And so I would come into his house. I would clean up the whole house and make it spotless. I would cook him dinner. I would go out and go cook him dinner and stuff, and he would come in the house and be like, "Wow, you know, you don't have to do any of it." Yes, I do. Actually, yes, I do, because you don't even understand how much I appreciate you letting me sleep in your bed. Like, and not like you're trying to fuck me either. That's the thing too, you guys. It's not even like you're trying to use me for any sexual purpose. Like this doesn't serve you. Me being here does not serve you. And you're just literally doing it because you're looking out for me, bro. And during that time, I I really needed to know that there was somebody who gave a damn about me living in this world. I remember walking around outside and just being outside and thinking to myself, well, if I just fell dead here, nobody would care. Like, well, if I just kept walking, if I got on that bus and just kept walking and just did it, nobody would really care. Like, and even to the point where I couldn't even see like my son. Like I couldn't even think and know that like, girl, no, that's not true. If you fell dead right now, Andrew, like Andrew, he would care. He would care. But feeling like I'm not worth it for Andrew. Like all I'm bringing is is my trauma. All I'm bringing is my trauma, my baggage, my my box of shit that don't nobody want. I don't even want the shit. Like I don't even want the shit. And wanting to just delete myself. I remember wanting to delete myself, y'all. And like I don't even know if there's another explanation for it. I'm so blessed and highly favored to never have been suicidal. I'm going to say that because I know that everybody goes through their trials and tribulations differently. And I don't know if I would have went to a lower point, maybe at some point I would have been suicidal. You know, I was blessed that the lowest I got was that, you know? But like I just remember feeling worthless, feeling like ain't shit, and knowing and learning that I had to really build back up. So it's funny, whenever I got with Robin, whenever I moved in and was living with Robin, Robin said when I first got there that was her mission because I was this beautiful black girl who couldn't see my worth, who couldn't see my beauty, who just couldn't see it. And she said that if I didn't learn anything else about myself during that time, that I would learn that I'm loved, that I'm wanted, that people love me, they care about me, I matter, you know? And she spent 7 years building that up till I truly believed it. I truly believed it. I truly believed it. Even after my mom died, even like I truly believed it. And then in a matter of 4 days, because it really was 4 days that that whole thing happened with us. Yes, it was 8 days till my birthday, but it was 4 days till that whole thing happened. And in a matter of 4 days, she managed to like erase all the work that she did. And she worked hard. She worked hard to make me feel like anything else than what I was or I thought I was. And in a matter of 4 days, she managed to wipe it all away. Like things that I thought were nailed into the ground, glued, welded, firm buildings just came tumbling down. And I had to refine myself and refine trust. I had to refine trust for humankind. All of humankind. All of humankind. Yeah. Because at that point, I only saw love for four people in my entire life. That's it. So if I don't say anything else and you don't get anything else out of this story, I tattooed this on me because it was like the only thing that I knew at the time. And I kept saying it was this too shall pass. This too shall pass. That you will not stay in this place forever. It cannot last forever, even though it feels like forever. I understand. This is not a forever thing. Nothing is a forever thing. Even for it to be a forever thing, you have to work on it to be a forever thing. So work against it being a forever thing. No matter what anybody says, no matter what promises they make you, no matter no matter what deity came up out the sky with roses and flowers and gold and piss of what tastes good? Apple juice? I don't know. I don't know. Piss of wine. Okay. Know that at the end of the day, you are worthy. You are worthy. And nobody, no matter what they did, this is something I really had to learn, you guys. And I want to tell you and share it with you so that that way you don't have to learn it the way that I learned it. Is that at the end of the day, you matter. You are worth it. You are worth it. And if you cannot see anyone in your face who is telling you you are worth it, leave and find someone else who will tell you you are worth it. I can guarantee you that you will find that person if you can leave this place right here. Do not ever, 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 ever sit in a place where you feel worthless. Cry, breathe it in, do what you need to do so that that way you can go ahead and walk around with a straight face. But when you're done that, you put your big girl drawers on and you know that you are worth it. You know that at the end of the day, this too shall pass. And when this passes, it's going to make it so much better. So this is my wraparound back to the grateful, back to earlier when we first started this podcast was I'm so grateful today, you guys. Like I feel grateful tears. Like I I feel so happy in the life that I made, the life that I built for myself, the way that I've been able to adjust. I consider myself a well-adjusted person. And I will tell you that that is not because I didn't try to climb the mountain. It's because that mountain got climbed. I fucked the shit out that mountain. I fucked the shit out that mountain. You hear me? Where that mountain at now? You over there sleep, sleep, sleep. I put that nigga to bed. I put that mountain to bed. You hear me? To bed. I rode the shit out that mountain. That bull got rode. Like, and it's not to say that I didn't break a leg, bump my head, break. I'm pretty sure I broke every bone in my body at this point. I'm pretty sure I broke every bone in my body at this point, but my heart never stopped beating, so I had another day. And I'm gonna, if I never tell you anything else, it's as long as you continue to breathe, you have another day, and this too shall pass. And when you get what it is that you deserve, it is going to taste so sweet. Because I can tell you now that everything just looks so much more vibrant. It tastes so much better. It feels so much better. It was, and it wasn't, so it was totally worth it because I had to be able to make space in my life for people, things, and experiences that wanted me in their life. And I was holding on to people, things, and experiences that did not necessarily want me in their life. And they say, you make a plan, God laughs at it. Well, he didn't just laugh, he threw a fucking monsoon on my shit. He threw a monsoon. He threw Haiti's earthquake. He threw the
Hurricane Katrina.
Hurricane Katrina, Sandy, Hurricane Sandy, motherfucking the typhoon that went through India, whatever the hell. You know, so, there was a couple of dust storms in there and stuff. And like he threw it all. I flooded. I drowned, y'all. I drowned. Okay, and I still managed to put my foot at the bottom of that pool and pull myself back up. So no matter how bad it gets, know that it gets better. Know that it is okay to explain, to yell, to holler, and express yourself in the fullest extent of yourself. As long as no one is getting harmed, y'all. I don't want y'all out here killing nobody. I don't know with me. With that being said, though, it is perfectly within your right to express how you feel. It is perfectly within your right to not let someone walk over you. It is perfectly within your right to feel how you feel and to stand in it. And the person who tells you it is not within your right, they can suck your fucking dick. And that is it. And that is all. Even in those times, you see my hands is up because this is my testimony, honey. Even in those times of complete darkness, despair, and shame, because I find that a lot of times when we're low, we feel shame for ourselves. Know that I love you, that you are loved, and that no one in anybody's world could ever take away what you contribute. Could ever, ever take away what you contribute, what you bring to the table. And if you ain't found out what you brought to the table yet, well, I'm gonna need you to come sit here at this table with me. Come sit at here at this table with me. Because I can guarantee you, I can tell you that that potato salad was good as hell. I like potato salad now. I can guarantee you that that potato salad was good as hell. And if you added peas into it, I might have to tell you about the peas or whatever. But I mean, that don't mean you stop making potato salad. I just mean next time you make a potato salad, don't put the peas in don't put the peas in potato salad. It was still good potato salad. I just have to dig around the peas for it. So bring what you bring to the table. Bring what you bring to the table. And even if you're not confident in it, because sometimes you have to find the confidence, you have to find the strength. Know that you are loved. Know that there is someone out here who gives a damn about you and prays for you to be okay and prays for you to make it and be successful in whatever right that is. That is something that I did not know at that time. And I didn't have anyone really to say that to me. So I'll be that person for you. And yeah, I love you. I love you, and I want you to be okay, and I want you to be happy. I want you to be content. I want you to feel safe, and I want you to do whatever it takes for you to do to make it happen. Yeah.
With that being said, um, I just want to say that I am so proud of my sister. I'm so proud of you. And I am about to cry. I am so proud of you. And I know, I know that I know that it was so difficult for you to talk about this because when I brought this topic when I brought this topic when I brought this topic to Esther, it was really a topic about okay, so yeah, I know I was fasting. A lot of things were coming up for me. And so this is one of the things that came up. And so I told Esther, like, I really think we should do a podcast about how we got kicked out. And considering Esther went through this experience prior to me, I'm like, let's just do this in chronological order. It'll make everything make sense once I go ahead and share what happened, like my experience. Um, and Esther was hesitant, but I'm so proud of you for sharing, for being able to persevere, for your ability to hold space, for you coming out at the other end and not having a hard heart from it, and your due diligence in the way that you work every day to heal yourself. And, I tell you all the time that I'm proud of you, but it's real. The love is real. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Um, I'm so proud that you've come out on the other end, regardless of all the damn obstacles and the bullshit and the bullshit that was really just trying to tear that ass down. Like, having gone through it with you, like, I feel you, I see you, I know you know that I see you, but I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. I love you. Um, and for, anyone that is experiencing a hard time, like, keep trying to push forward. Like, keep trying to push forward. This too shall pass is real. And so with that being said, after
With that being said, y'all, because this was a heavy one now, go ahead, wipe your tears. Go ahead, y'all, wipe your tears. Come on, come on. Wipe your tears, because I will not let y'all leave from out this podcast with this heavy heart that we done displayed and dropped down on this goddamn floor. Now pick it back up, y'all. Pick it back up. And yeah, know that you're loved. Know that we come from a place of loving, great, uh, great space, great space. No judgment. I don't want to pick you apart. I want you to be who you are. I want you to be who you are in all rights of who you are. And don't worry about not a motherfucking other motherfucker. They can kiss your ass. You hear me? And if you didn't know it, you know it today. So on that note,
Thank
Go
you.
ahead and hang out with me, y'all, about on my podcast. It's not my podcast. Look at me. Go ahead and hang out with me on my YouTube page. If you want to follow me, I also have an Instagram, of course. I know all the links are below in the description. If you ever want to see my Odie baby, he also has a page also. So go ahead, follow me. My Instagram and my YouTube is Uncensored by Design. Spell it the way it should be spelled. And yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, everything will be in the description box below. Feel free to go ahead, drop a comment if anything resonated. Feel free to drop a comment if you have any questions.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in on another episode of Polyvel. You can expect the next episode to probably just be as emotional.
Because this is a segment, y'all. This is a segment of I've been kicked out of better places.
And that's on period. Okay. We give thanks, and until next time.
Peace.